The hum of 1,000 notifications vibrated Dr. Emily Chen's phone, a constant thrumming beneath the lukewarm surface of her recycled coffee. Another Tuesday, another asteroid, another existential crisis averted, or at least postponed, by a team of underfunded, overworked scientists. She squinted at the swirling green blob on her monitor, the projected trajectory of 2023 or X4. A cosmic pebble with the potential to turn Earth into a slightly less hospitable version of Mars. Below the asteroid's ominous path, the news ticker scrolled across her second monitor. A relentless stream of information vying for her attention. Galactic Council Declares War, it announced, the words flickering in a font size barely larger than the stock market updates. Emily sighed. Space.
It was always trying to kill humanity, whether through rogue rocks or intergalactic squabbles.
And yet, down here, people were more concerned with the latest celebrity breakup or the trending dance challenge. She glanced at her social media feed, a curated collection of anxieties and distractions. Hashtag Galactic War hoax was trending, sandwiched between hashtag pancake art and hashtag my cat is an alien. The comments section was a battleground of conspiracy theories and sarcastic memes.
Aliens, please. One user scoffed. I'm more worried about my student loan repayments. Emily understood.
The sheer scale of the universe, the incomprehensible distances and cosmic time scales, made galactic war seem abstract, distant. It was a problem for future generations or for someone else to solve. Besides, there was always something more immediate, more pressing, demanding attention. The leaky faucet, the overflowing inbox, the existential dread of another Tuesday. Across town, Bart Higgins, social media royalty, was meticulously arranging miniature pancakes into the shape of a Kryll warship. His phone, a shimmering extension of his hand, pinged incessantly with likes, comments, and brand deals. Guys,
check it out,
he announced to his livestream audience, his voice a carefully modulated blend of enthusiasm and irony.
I'm predicting the future. Pancakes and aliens. It's gonna be huge.
He wasn't entirely serious, of course. The Galactic War was just another trend, another opportunity for content. He'd already filmed a debunking video, complete with cheesy special effects and a dramatic voiceover. His followers ate it up. They loved the irony, the wink, and a nod to the absurdity of it all. Meanwhile, in the dimly lit corridors of the Global Defense Headquarters, General Anya Volkov slammed her fist on the table, rattling the lukewarm coffee in her mug.
Are you people serious?
She growled, her voice echoing through the room.
We have confirmed Kryll probes on our doorstep, and you're telling me we don't have the budget for a proper reconnaissance mission?
The room was filled with the shuffling of papers and the averted gazes of bureaucrats.
General,
one of them murmured,
the public isn't concerned. They think it's a joke. A joke.
Volkov's voice rose.
When alien warships are orbiting our planet, it's not a joke.
She pointed to a grainy image on the screen, a blurry shot of a metallic object hovering in the clouds.
That's not CGI, people. That's real.
But her words fell on deaf ears. The world was too busy doom-scrolling, too busy laughing at memes, too busy to care. The Galactic War, it seemed, was just another distraction in a world already overflowing with them. And Emily, Bart, and Volkov, each in their own way, were about to discover just how dangerous that apathy could be. Chapter 2, Whispers of the Unknown 750 words. The rhythmic pulse, faint but insistent, resonated within Emily's headphones, a whisper in the static of deep space. It wasn't the usual cosmic background radiation, the white noise of the universe. This was different, structured, almost intelligent. She traced the signal back to 2023 or X4, the asteroid she'd been tracking. It wasn't just a rock. It was a receiver, a beacon. Days blurred into nights as Emily pored over the data, fueled by instant coffee and a growing sense of unease. The signal was complex, a language she didn't understand, yet somehow, she felt it was trying to tell her something. Then, she found it, a hidden layer within the data stream. a sequence of symbols that resonated with something buried deep in her memory. She remembered Xyler, a fragmented AI construct she'd stumbled upon years ago, a digital ghost from a long-vanished alien civilization. Xyler spoke in riddles and cryptic pronouncements, dismissed by most as the ramblings of a rogue program. But now, the symbols from the asteroid matched Xyler's unique linguistic patterns.
Xyler, she whispered into her microphone, her voice hoarse from lack of sleep. Are you there? The response was immediate, a cascade of data flooding our screen. The whispers grow louder. Xyler's synthesized voice echoed through her speakers. The slumbering giant stirs. Emily shivered. What giant? What whispers? The council. Their words are hollow echoes, masking a deeper truth. The Kryll. They are not what they seem.
Meanwhile, Bart was basking in the glow of his newfound viral fame. His alien invasion hoax, fact or fiction, video had garnered millions of views, most of them laughing at his cheesy special effects. He was already planning his next big stunt, a live alien hunt at the supposed Kryll landing site. He scrolled through his comments, a mix of adoration and ridicule. One comment, however, stood out.
Dude, your drone footage is actually kinda weird.
The user linked to a slowed-down, enhanced version of Bart's video. Bart, curious, clicked on the link. He dismissed the strange metallic objects in the background as glitches, artifacts of the video compression. But the enhanced footage revealed something else, sleek, angular shapes, moving with an unnerving fluidity. They weren't drones, or birds, or anything he'd ever seen before. A chill ran down his spine. For the first time, he felt a flicker of doubt. What if it wasn't a hoax? He tried to rationalize it. It could be a government project, some top-secret military aircraft. But deep down, he knew there was something alien about those shapes. He called up his tech guy, a weary kid named Kevin who could hack anything with a keyboard.
Kevin, I need you to analyze something,
he said, his voice unusually serious. He sent Kevin the enhanced footage.
Tell me what you think.
Hours later, Kevin called back, his voice trembling.
Bart, these are drones. There's something else.
The thermal signature is off the charts. The flight patterns are unlike anything I've ever seen. And there's a faint energy signature, almost
like the pulse. Bart's heart pounded in his chest. The pulse. He remembered the news reports, the vague mentions of strange energy readings. He dismissed them as part of the hoax narrative. But now, he looked at his phone, his social media feed. The world was still laughing, still sharing memes, still oblivious. But Bart, for the first time, felt a prickle of fear. The whispers were getting louder, and he had a feeling they weren't going to be funny. Chapter 3. The Unlikely Alliance 850 words. Emily stared at the cascading lines of code on her monitor, Xyler's cryptic pronouncements echoing in her mind. The council, hollow echoes, the Kryll, not what they seem. She needed to understand. She needed to make sense of the fragmented information, the whispers and the static. But she was just one scientist, working in a barely funded observatory, her voice lost in the cacophony of human noise. Then, she remembered Bart's video. The cheesy special effects, the over-the-top narration. It was all ridiculous, of course. But the drone footage, that was real. And it was the only concrete evidence she had. Reluctantly, she pulled up Bart's channel. Millions of subscribers, a whirlwind of comments, a digital circus. She felt a pang of disgust. How could humanity be so engrossed in such trivialities while facing a potential existential threat? Yet, she knew she needed Bart. He had access. He had influence. He had the ability to reach an audience that she, with her dry scientific papers and obscure research, could never reach. Swallowing her pride, she sent him a direct message. Bart, meanwhile, was wrestling with his newfound sense of unease. Kevin's analysis of the drone footage had shaken him. He had always been a skeptic, a cynic, but the evidence was undeniable. Something was out there, something alien. He'd even considered going public with the real footage. ditching the comedic persona for a dose of hard truth. But the thought of the ridicule, the accusations of attention-seeking, held him back. He was trapped between his desire for fame and his nagging conscience. Then, Emily's message arrived. He almost deleted it, assuming it was just another fan message. But the subject line caught his eye.
Kryll probes. Urgent information.
He clicked on the message, his skepticism warring with a flicker of curiosity. Emily's message was concise, professional, and surprisingly devoid of the usual internet hyperbole. She explained her research, her discovery of Xyler, and her belief that the Kryll's intentions were being misinterpreted. She ended with a simple request.
I need your help.
Bart was intrigued. This wasn't some crazed conspiracy theorist. This was a scientist, a real scientist, talking about real evidence. He did a quick search on Dr. Emily Chen. Her credentials were impeccable. He felt a surge of adrenaline. This was bigger than viral videos, bigger than pancake art. This was real. He replied to Emily's message, a single word, meet me. They met at a secluded diner, far from the prying eyes of the internet. Emily, dressed in her usual rumpled lab coat, looked out of place amidst the chrome and neon. Bart, in his designer hoodie and ever-present phone, looked like he'd just stepped off a live stream. The clash of personalities was immediate.
So,
Bart began, his voice laced with irony.
You're the scientist who thinks I can save the world.
Emily raised an eyebrow.
I'm the scientist who has evidence that the Kryll are here, and you're the only one who can get close enough to them to gather more information.
Bart chuckled.
You want me to be your alien hunter. I want you to use your influence.
Emily countered.
You have access. You have an audience. You can make people listen.
Bart leaned back, considering.
And what's in it for me?
Emily sighed. The survival of humanity? Bart laughed. Right. And how many followers will that get me? Emily resisted the urge to roll her eyes.
Look,
she said, her voice softening.
I know you're a content creator, but this is bigger than likes and comments. This is about the future of our planet.
Bart looked at her, really looked at her. He saw the exhaustion in her eyes, the desperation in her voice. He saw the flicker of genuine concern. He felt a stirring within him, a sense of responsibility he hadn't felt before.
Okay,
he said finally.
I'm in.
Emily nodded, a flicker of relief crossing her face.
Good, because we don't have much time.
As they discussed their plan, a news report flickered on the diner's TV screen. General Volkov addresses nation, the headline read. The image showed Volkov, her face grim, standing before a bank of screens displaying blurry images of Kryll probes.
We're facing a potential threat,
she announced, her voice firm but laced with concern.
I urge the public to remain calm and vigilant.
The diner patrons barely glanced up. One of them changed the channel to a cooking show. The Galactic War, it seemed, was still just background noise. Chapter 4, Infiltration and Revelation, 950 words. Bart, decked out in his most outlandish influencer gear, a neon green jumpsuit with flashing LED lights and a camera drone buzzing overhead, approached the Kryll landing site. It was a desolate stretch of desert, cordoned off by a hastily erected military perimeter. Soldiers, looking bored and unimpressed, manned checkpoints, their rifles slung casually over their shoulders.
Yo, what's up?
Guys, Bart greeted the guards with a wide grin, his voice booming through his portable microphone.
Just your friendly neighborhood influencer, here to document the alien invasion. Don't worry, I'll keep it PG.
The guards exchanged weary glances.
You got authorization, kid.
One of them grunted, barely looking up from his phone. Bart flashed a holographic pass, courtesy of General Volkov who, despite her reservations, recognized the value of Bart's reach.
All access, baby. Gotta get that exclusive content.
He sauntered past the checkpoint, his drone capturing every moment.
Okay, fam, we're in.
He announced to his livestream audience.
The alien landing zone. Spooky, right? But don't worry. I've got my trusty taser and a can of pepper spray. Aliens hate pepper spray, right?
He winked at the camera, his bravado a carefully constructed facade. Beneath the surface, his heart pounded. This wasn't some stage stunt. This was real. He could feel it in the dry desert air, in the strange silence that hung over the landscape. He followed the dirt road, his drone soaring ahead, capturing panoramic views of the desolate landscape. In the distance, he saw them, the Kryll probes. They weren't the sleek, menacing warships he'd imagined. They were more like giant metallic eggs, half buried in the sand, pulsing with an eerie blue light.
Home.
He breathed, his voice hushed with awe.
Those are something else.
He approached cautiously, his drone circling the probes, capturing close-up footage. The surface of the probes was smooth, seamless, almost organic. He could feel a faint vibration in the ground, a low hum that resonated deep within his chest. Suddenly, one of the probes began to glow brighter. The humming intensified. Bart felt a surge of adrenaline. This was it. This was the moment.
Guys, I think something's happening.
He whispered, his voice trembling.
I think they're waking up.
He zoomed his drone closer, capturing the pulsating light, the strange symbols that appeared on the probe's surface. He felt a prickle of fear, but also a thrill of excitement. This was the content of a lifetime. As he filmed, he noticed something else, a faint energy signature emanating from the probes, a pattern of pulses that seemed familiar. He'd seen this before, in Emily's research, in Zyler's cryptic pronouncements. This was the language of the Kryll. He switched his drone to infrared mode. The energy signature became clearer, revealing a complex network of interconnected symbols, a language of light and vibration. He recorded everything, his mind racing. This was more than just an alien encounter. This was a message. Meanwhile, back at the Global Defense Headquarters, General Volkov watched Bart's livestream with a mixture of frustration and grudging admiration. The kid was a fool, a reckless showman, but he was also their eyes and ears on the ground, their only source of real-time intelligence. General, one of her aides said, pointing to the screen.
We're picking up unusual energy readings from the probes. I see a pattern of some kind.
Volkov leaned closer, her eyes narrowed.
Can we decipher it?
We're working on it, the aide replied. But it's unlike anything we've ever encountered. Volkov watched as Bart's drone zoomed closer to the probes, capturing the pulsating light, the strange symbols. She felt a surge of hope. Maybe this wasn't a prelude to an invasion. Maybe there was a chance for communication, for understanding. But as she watched, the probes began to emit a high-pitched whine. The ground shook, the air crackled with energy. Bart, his face a mask of fear and wonder, screamed into his microphone.
Guys, I think they're...
The transmission cut out. The screen went black. Volkov slammed her fist on the table, her voice echoing through the room.
Get me Dr. Chen, now.
Chapter 5. Decoding the message 780 words. The silence in the observatory was deafening, broken only by the hum of the servers and the frantic clicking of Emily's keyboard. Bart's last transmission, the chaotic images of the pulsating Kryll probes, played on a loop on her monitor, a haunting reminder of the precariousness of their situation. She'd lost contact with him hours ago. The military had scrambled jets, but there was no sign of him, no sign of the probes. They had vanished as quickly as they had appeared.
Zyler,
she whispered, her voice hoarse with worry and exhaustion.
Can you make sense of this?
The AI's response was immediate, a torrent of data flooding her screens. The language of the Kryll. It is not spoken, but felt. A symphony of vibrations, a dance of light and energy. Emily stared at the complex patterns, the intricate web of symbols. It was unlike any language she'd ever encountered.
But what does it mean?
She pleaded.
What are they trying to say? Their message is fragmented, distorted by the barriers of perception. But I can feel the essence of a plea. A warning, a request.
Emily's heart pounded. A request. Not an invasion, not a declaration of war, but a request. She had to understand. She had to translate this alien plea into something humans could comprehend. Hours turned into a blur of caffeine-fueled analysis, of cross-referencing Zyler's fragmented knowledge with the Kryll's enigmatic communication. Slowly, painstakingly, a pattern began to emerge. The Kryll language wasn't linear, like human speech. It was multidimensional, a tapestry of interconnected concepts, of emotions and intentions woven into a complex web of energy. The war, Zyler explained, wasn't a war at all, not in the human sense. It was a complex diplomatic maneuver, a ritualized exchange of grievances and demands, conducted across vast interstellar distances. The Kryll, it seemed, were masters of bureaucracy. Their society governed by an intricate system of rules and protocols. Their declaration of war was, in essence, a strongly worded intergalactic memo, a bureaucratic tantrum misinterpreted by the Galactic Council.
Why?
Emily asked, her mind reeling.
Why all this complexity? Why not just communicate directly?
The Kryll perceive reality differently, Zyler explained. Their thoughts are not bound by time or space. Their communication is a symphony of interconnectedness, a dance of meaning that transcends human understanding. Emily sighed.
It was also an alien.
But she had to try. She had to bridge the gap between human perception and Kryll reality. She had to find a way to translate their message, to make humanity understand. She began to work on a translation, a human interpretation of the Kryll's complex communication. It was a daunting task, like trying to capture the essence of a symphony in a single word. But she had to try. The fate of humanity might depend on it. Meanwhile, General Volkov paced the war room, her frustration growing with each passing hour. The Kryll probes had vanished, leaving no trace. Bart was still missing. The public, after a brief surge of interest, had returned to its usual distractions. The Galactic War, it seemed, was already yesterday's news. Any
Updates?
She barked at her aides, her voice sharp with anxiety.
Nothing, General.
One of them replied.
We've scanned the entire area. There's no sign of the probes, no sign of anything.
Volkov swore under her breath. She felt a growing sense of dread. They were blind, deaf, and dumb in the face of this alien threat. They didn't understand the Kryll, their motives, their language. They were playing a game they didn't understand, with stakes they couldn't comprehend. Just as her despair threatened to consume her, a message flashed on her screen. It was from Emily.
I think I've cracked it, the message read. I think I understand what the Kryll are trying to say.
Volkov's heart leaped with hope. Finally, a breakthrough. She immediately ordered a secure line to the observatory.
Doctor.
Chen, she said, her voice urgent.
Tell me everything.
Chapter 6. The Brink of Disaster, 750 words. The war room buzzed with a tense energy, a stark contrast to the prevailing apathy outside its walls. General Volkov, her face illuminated by the flickering screens, listened intently as Emily's voice, tinny and distorted through the secure line, explained her findings. The Kryll's message, translated through the lens of human understanding, was both baffling and alarming. They weren't invaders, not conquerors. They were petitioners. Their declaration of war was, in essence, a formal request for an audience with the dominant species of Earth, a convoluted bureaucratic process dictated by their rigid societal structure. They sought an alliance, a partnership, a sharing of resources. But their methods, their strange language of energy and vibration, had been misinterpreted, lost in translation.
They want to talk,
Volkov said, her voice incredulous.
After all this posturing, they just want to talk. It's more complicated than that.
Emily explained, her voice laced with fatigue.
Their concept of communication is different. They don't see it as a simple exchange of words. It's as a merging of consciousness, a sharing of experiences.
Volkov rubbed her temples, trying to process this alien logic.
And what happens if we decline their request? I don't know,
Emily admitted.
But based on Zyler's information, their society is built on a strict code of conduct.
A rejection could be interpreted as a hostile act. Volkov cursed under her breath. They were on the brink of an intergalactic incident, not because of aggression, but because of a bureaucratic misunderstanding. The absurdity of the situation was almost overwhelming.
We need to respond,
she said, her voice firm.
We need to let them know that we understand, that we're willing to talk.
But how? The Kryll's language was beyond human comprehension. Their technology, their very way of perceiving reality, was alien. They couldn't just send a diplomatic envoy with a translator and a fruit basket. Then, she remembered Bart. His last transmission, the chaotic images of the pulsating probes, the strange symbols. He had been on the verge of something, a connection, a bridge between human and Kryll consciousness.
Get me Bart Higgins,
she ordered, her voice filled with a desperate hope.
Now.
But Bart was gone, vanished. The military search teams had found no trace of him, no sign of his drone, no wreckage. He had disappeared as mysteriously as the Kryll probes themselves. The news of Bart's disappearance spread like wildfire across the internet. #WhereIceBart trended worldwide. Conspiracy theories flourished. Was he abducted? Was he a government agent? Was this all an elaborate hoax? The irony was lost on no one. The influencer, the master of manufactured drama, had become the center of a real-life mystery, and the world, finally paying attention, was more concerned with his fate than with a potential alien threat. Volkov watched the news reports with a growing sense of despair. They were running out of time. The Kryll, with their alien patience, might not wait forever for a response, and humanity, obsessed with its own trivial dramas, was oblivious to the impending danger. Just as she was about to give the order for a full-scale military alert, a message flashed on her screen. It was from Emily.
I found him.
The message read,
He's alive, and he's communicating.
Volkov's heart leaped with a mixture of relief and disbelief. Bart, communicating with the Kryll? How was that possible? She clicked on the link Emily had provided. It was a live stream, not from Bart's usual channel, but from some obscure corner of the internet. The image was grainy, distorted, but unmistakable. There he was, Bart Higgins, sitting cross-legged in a dimly lit space, his eyes closed, his body swaying rhythmically, and around him, swirling patterns of light and energy, the language of the Kryll, danced in harmony with his movements. Chapter 7, Apathy's Legacy, 680 words. The war room, once a hub of frantic activity, was now hushed. Every eye glued to the flickering image on the main screen. Bart, bathed in an ethereal blue light, swayed gently, his movements mirroring the pulsating patterns of Kryll communication. He was no longer the flamboyant influencer, the master of manufactured drama. He was a conduit, a translator, a human instrument playing the symphony of an alien language. Emily, her voice trembling with a mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration, explained what she was witnessing. Bart, through some inexplicable connection, had become attuned to the Kryll's frequency, his consciousness resonating with their energy patterns. He was communicating not through words, but through a shared experience, a merging of perception. Volkov watched in awe and disbelief. The influencer, the jester, the embodiment of human triviality, had become the savior, the bridge between two worlds. It was a cosmic joke, a twist of fate that defied all logic. Through Bart, the Kryll's message flowed, clearer now, devoid of bureaucratic jargon and diplomatic doublespeak. They spoke of their ancient civilization, their unique perception of reality, their desire for connection. They expressed their concern for humanity's self-destructive tendencies, their fear of a species consumed by its own internal noise. And then, they offered a gift, a technology, a knowledge, a way to transcend the limitations of human perception, to join the galactic community, to become part of something larger than themselves. The offer hung in the air, a beacon of hope in a world drowning in apathy. But would humanity accept it? Would they even notice? Volkov, her heart pounding with a cautious optimism, ordered a global broadcast, a live feed of Bart's alien communion. The world watched, bewildered, As the influencer turned intergalactic diplomat danced with the Kryll's energy, his movements a language they couldn't understand, yet somehow felt. The initial reaction was predictable. Memes were created, hashtags were born, conspiracy theories abounded. Hashtag Barthelian, hashtag KRYLL Dance Challenge, hashtag Galactic Gift or Scam. The world, true to form, turned the extraordinary into the ordinary, the profound into the trivial. But something else was happening too. Beneath the surface of cynicism and irony, a flicker of curiosity, a spark of wonder. People, for the first time in a long time, looked up from their screens, looked beyond their own petty concerns, and glimpsed the vastness of the universe, the possibility of something more. The Kryll's gift, a technology that allowed for direct communication, for a shared consciousness experience, was cautiously accepted. It wasn't a sudden transformation, not a universal awakening, but it was a start, a crack in the wall of apathy, a window into a wider reality. Bart, exhausted but exhilarated, emerged from his trance, blinking in the harsh light of the military hangar. He was no longer just an influencer, a purveyor of trivial content. He was a symbol, a bridge between worlds, a reminder of humanity's potential for connection, for transcendence. The world, however, quickly moved on. The Kryll's gift, after an initial surge of interest, became just another app, another distraction. Hashtag Krillchit was trending for a while, but soon faded, replaced by the latest celebrity scandal and the newest viral dance challenge. Bart, ever the opportunist, leveraged his newfound fame into a lucrative brand deal with a Kryll-themed energy drink. General Volkov, weary but resolute, continued to navigate the complexities of intergalactic diplomacy. And Emily, back in her observatory, watched the stars, a quiet smile playing on her lips. Humanity, it seemed, would always be humanity. Flawed, distracted, obsessed with its own trivialities. But within that chaos, within that noise, there was also a spark of curiosity, a capacity for wonder, a potential for connection. And sometimes, that was enough. The final scene showed Bart, in his signature neon green jumpsuit, filming a promotional video for his new energy drink.
Yo, what's up, fam?
He announced, his voice booming through his microphone.
Check out this new Crow Cola. It's out of this world.
He winked at the camera, a mischievous glint in his eye.
And hey, if you're ever feeling down, just remember, there's a whole galaxy out there, waiting to be explored. Peace out.
He took a long swig of the glowing blue liquid, a satisfied grin spreading across his face. The camera zoomed in on the can, the Kryll logo pulsating with an eerie light. The screen faded to black,